YouTube, what's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back, welcoming you to the Stormybman post-fight show for this Saturday, October 31st, 2020, and we're calling it Dazn, ESPN, and Showtime pay-per-view. That's right, we're going to cover it all from A to Z for you guys this evening, and we're going to jump right on into it. It was an exciting weekend for boxing. Boxing once again has delivered, albeit not without mistakes, but we cannot complain when we get the main course served up the way it was served up this evening. So, we have to be appreciative of that fact right there. And with no further ado, allow me to introduce my co-host on here with me for the post-fight show with Stormybman, who just came off a magnificent call. It's right up there with Down Goes Frazier. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting up, Jim. You know what I mean? Boxing conversations with Reggie Owens, who now has coined, he's dead! He's dead! What's up with you, Reggie?
Man, I'm still trying to bring my heart rate down. God dang, man, I'm just tripping over how vicious this damn kid Tank is. Man, that's all I can say is, man, the kid is vicious, but also, as we get into it, I like where the kid brain is, and I'm glad. That's the one credit I give Floyd and them for bringing this kid to the realization of what he needs to focus in on. His post-fight clearly shows me he's starting to get this shit, and he spoke intelligently about what he saw in his fight, but we'll go into that. Man.
But hey, man, shout out to you for a great call, man, because as we were listening, to you calling it, man, your animation and everything and exhilaration in your voice as, you calling the action, I'm pretty cool about it, because I've seen so many matches or whatever, but your enthusiasm is right up there, man. That's why I said now we put you right up there with, Howard Cosell and Roy Jones Jr., on those matches. And now we got Reggie with, he's dead. That's classic stuff. We got to find a way to go and record that clip so we can use it again in the future on the show, Reggie, because there may be some more, and we'll just play that when something happens. And we just let you just crack on out with that one right there, because that's good stuff, man. Want to say salute to everybody that's out there in the chat. Smash the like button as you come in, man. This was some great stuff, man. It was really, really, oh my goodness. Let me say this, Reggie. I want to go ahead and we just roll right into the main event of tonight's pay-per-view card, since the excitement and the electricity is so fire off of what we just witnessed. Why don't you go ahead and tell us your thoughts about that main event that was Tank Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. And take your time. I don't think you're on the clock, because you just talk about it. But you did a wonderful call, man. I'm telling you, you really did.
Oh man, thank you, OG. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I was mad going into this fight being with the scheduling, that they will put the two events scheduled at the same time. But ultimately, after watching what Tank went in there and do, Tank, you helped me stop the lawsuit I had filed against these dang idiots in network. But going into this one, I've seen Leo coming out here fighting pretty well versed fight, man. He came out here real strong, came out here real aggressive, firing and connecting shots. He landed well on Tank, and it obviously showed on the face of Tank with the little lumping created up under the eye. Leo was landing some nice straight line jabs. He utilized his height a little bit, fired off quick combinations, and I thought he just had Tank's number early in the fight. The quick hands, quick fired off counters as Tank was having a hard time trying to adjust to him. Then I start seeing Tank trying to just look for the little one single shots to counter and time Leo Santa Cruz with the pop him. Going into that third round is where, like late in that third round, where I seen a shift in the momentum. I seen a shift going about to where Tank ended up making this adjustment with may have been 40 seconds or so in that third round. Tank making that adjustment, started landing a few shots late, and then having Leo Santa Cruz starting to back up. Early on, first 2 rounds, Leo got Tank backing up, coming on aggressive, very strong. Looked like he was taking Tank's best shot. So I'm like, all right, now Tank's going to have to box. Seeing Tank's trying to look for a lot of counters. Tank ended up eventually finding his range. And I think what happened with Leo in those first 2 rounds, Leo got comfortable and start fighting an inside boxing game, allowing Tank Davis to score a couple of these shots down to the body, carrying over with the hooks. But Leo was landing a lot of good shots on the inside too. And now that's where Leo made the huge mistake of getting too comfortable in the fight and falling asleep on who he was faced against. Not over, damn, what's the word? But he no longer realized that Tank Davis was a guy who possessed this great level of power. And now he's fighting on this close range fight, allowing Tank Davis in there. Now Tank Davis begins to start walking him down. Tank Davis was allowing punches to come at him, kept walking forward, hitting Leo down to the body, catching Leo with a few jabs, but started loading viciously with these punches. These are very accurate punches that start to hit Leo. And I begin to see Leo look like he started to fade a little bit going in that 4th round. Tank just fought beautifully. And the one thing Tank said he noticed is that, and this is the good thing with Tank is fighting, he's also starting to collect data. And that's showing the signs of an intelligent fighter who's not only able to go in there and think with the mindset of, I'm just going in here to knock this motherfucker out with one shot. Tank Davis did not have to do any of that. He also, in that post fight, he said anytime he noticed he threw a jab, Leo's coming right behind it. So therefore, Leo turned off his brain, no longer thinking that he had Tank Davis where he wanted it. Tank was like, he noticed he'll do subtle things, he jabs. Here's Leo returning with a jab. So now he's like, now I know to make this adjustment, being that this is coming behind. Anytime I throw this guy's returning with it. And it was like every single time this guy did that. So he started baiting Leo in. He said when he got Leo in that corner, he knew that when Leo threw that jab, Leo was expecting him. When he threw a jab, Leo returned. And that's when he knew to make the Povetkin move. Slide over, roll right up underneath that jab, finding that chin. And he dang near detached Leo Santa Cruz's head from his body. His neck lifted up, you begin to see the little ligaments or whatever hold your head on place, having to go into overdrive of holding his head together. And he just immediately went out, and he was out for a long time. So bad the doctor's pressing on his chest. But also, that knockout points back to the other thing I bring about that's an issue in this country is fighter safety. For those 2 or 3 minutes he on the canvas, nowhere do I see oxygen. Unlike when I see fights in Europe, oxygen is immediately over there. Then to watch him walk back to the ring, I got an issue with that. And I think it's a lot of idiotic stuff that goes on with the commissioning of boxing within this country that has to change. But all in all, man, Tank Davis fought a good fight. And this is supposed to be a hard fight. And good job from Leo Santa Cruz to give us a good fight to where Tank Davis had to work and earn this. And Tank Davis able to switch that momentum and take control of this fight and fought a very strong and aggressive fight and found the perfect punch. Not overlooking for that punch, but he found that punch. And that was beautiful. God damn. But go ahead, OG.
No, you raised great points about what we were looking at tonight and everything. And I want to say first and foremost, hats off to Tank Davis for his victory. And hats off to Leo Santa Cruz for fighting the type of fight that we didn't think he would try to fight with Tank. He actually manned up in there and really showed something. But once again, I do have to take stock in something that I said prior going into the fight. And I actually heard Trill Boxing say this as well today. So shout out to Trill Boxing, because we were of like minds with this. When on the Friday night chop session, I had said we cannot give these guys as much credit as people would like to see them get until they accomplish things. Tonight, Tank took a huge step, and what Trill said in correlation to what I was in agreement with was there hasn't been enough data collected on these young fighters who are very good, but untested and everything. And so here we have a situation where Tank was coming into his first fight that was a real class fight of him against another champion, solid, opposite of him. And he was in a fight. He really was. And he came out 100% with flying colors. That right there, now I can say, wow, I had that, because he, as you said, fought, he thought, he made adjustments, he was exciting, he was effective, and he was challenged. All of these things are merits that I spoke about going in to this fight and some other fights that we had not seen, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, and I'm sorry if it's an old statement of saying it over and again, it's just like when Leonard and Hearns first fought each other. Leonard had the benefit of having had that tight fight with Roberto Duran. And that was something that he had to come back from his first loss. Yes, winning the title from Benitez was a huge feat, but to have a challenge with another champion and to fight tooth and nail and lose that close decision, because it could have went either way really between Leonard and Duran, but he went into his fight with Tommy Hearns having known defeat. So when you suffer the setback, and in that event it was a setback for Leonard, it makes you wiser for the course going forward, because you now know that, hey, it could be taken away from you, but you also know the taste of what it's like to defend it with all you have. So now Tank has gone through something like that. He's going to be tough to beat going forward. See, before this, we couldn't say, what does he have, this and that. You could say he could punch, he had fast hands, he's knocked a lot of guys out. But now as a champion battling a champion, here you have him now, he raised up to another level, which was not there before the fight. And you have to give him credit for that. You have to acknowledge it. And everybody out there in the division has to be put on notice for that now too. Because you ain't just going to go up there and beat up this little guy. He can fight. But not only can he fight, he can make adjustments. Not only can he make adjustments, he be thinking in there. Like you just said. And you heard his post-fight. And yes, Floyd was a little bit animated outside the ring, almost to the point of being a distraction. But when you got millions on the line like that, I can kind of understand. But Floyd would be better off, if he's going to do that, just get in Tank's corner, bro. Just get in his corner and be a second. That way you could talk to him close when he comes back to the corner and stuff like that. We've seen you wear your outlandish outfits and stuff like that. So nobody really wants to see that. Put on a team jacket and everything and get over there in the corner until you think he may not need your counsel like that anymore. But when you're doing that from outside the ring like that, and you're also the management and stuff like that, it's like, we don't need that. It's a distraction. But this is Tank's hour. as I stated, no one thought that Santa Cruz would try to fight that type of fight. And remember, I said this as well. I said, if Santa Cruz could take Tank's punch, we're going to have a fight. And early on, he took Tank's punch. We had a fight. Now, the punch that knocked him out, just like when Dillian White was knocked out by Povetkin, he didn't see that shot, and he caught all of it, and it was nasty. He was totally separated from his senses and knocked unconscious. But, man, what a great fight for this young man, and I'm excited to see him again. It's like I was waiting for something like this so I could get into it and be like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't like to always sound like I'm being overly critical, because it's not really over criticism, because it always comes through in the wash when you can understand the point I've tried to make, just as I explained it. This young man needed to be tested. He was tested right there by a man that was young enough to give him something, you know, and that he could take it, receive it, and take it and run forward with it. Great stuff, man. Great battle. And it was exciting. Even the people who were maybe opposing him, they have to respect him now. They have to say, wow, you know. And for all of those that were out there a couple weeks back really celebrating the fact that Lopez got a victory over Lomachenko, well, this man, his victory was even more solid than that, because Leo Santa Cruz is far more accomplished than Lomachenko professionally, and nobody has ever done that to Leo Santa Cruz. And he didn't leave it up to no stinking judges. He took victory into his own hands, and he put the rest of the division on notice that he's more than capable of doing that night in and night out. So you got to be on your guard. You got to be on the lookout and everything, security system and everything, when it comes to being in there with this young man. For such a small guy, he is as powerful as they can be, and he's an exciting guy, and he has fast hands. His footwork ain't bad either. So we saw a little bit of everything on display tonight, and I think he can get better, believe it or not. And if he gets better, whoa. So that's what I have to say about that as my opening remarks, Reggie.
Man, this kid is on his way up on the way up, man. And like you said, you think with the comparison between the two new champions is Leo and Tank Davis, is that Tank Davis went in here against a guy who, like you stated, way more accomplished than Vasily Lomachenko, and in the fashion in which Tank gets him up out of here, I mean, Tank rises, and especially this being on a pay-per-view event, Tank rises. And he is a man that he is, like you got on the 10. What's the Thunder's 10 list?
Oh, listen, when I bring the list out again, which just because we had these exciting fights this weekend and there has been a change to the list on the next Friday Night Chop session, we will see Tank Davis on that list. We will definitely see him on the Thunderous 10. And boy, did he kick his door down to enter that list tonight. You know what? And again, I'm not being apologetic, but I can explain. This is what I be talking about when you want to give someone credit when they do something, not on potentially doing something, not on, aspiring. You want it done. And when it's done, nobody can take that away from you. And no one should try to hold you back from it when you've accomplished it. So just like a couple weeks ago, folks was celebrating this other guy, people need to be celebrating this young man as well, because he's done something. He's arrived on the scene, and it was on pay-per-view, Reggie. It was on pay-per-view, and They had, what, 9,000 people there, live gate? Boxing's first return to a live gate situation. He's been hitting home runs with his box office and attendance up till now. But now, man, he gonna be able to write the ticket, bro. And it ain't nothing wrong with that, especially when you finishing fights off like this. Huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Just the fact that they pull that many people into this audience. And especially to do it in front of Leo fans. And best believe Tank Davis has transitioned every single one of them 9,000 people into Tank Davis's fans. And just to look at it, like after the event was over, I still seen people inside that arenas. They probably didn't want to leave. Usually you see arenas clear out. Those folks standing there to take that in is they stood in front and watched some spectacular-ish just go down inside that arena. They didn't want to leave. It was hard to want to leave something like that. And, hey, Tank has arrived, man, and I'm glad to see Tank clean himself up, clean his behavior up. That's the biggest thing to me. Even if you represent the hood in one of the highest level of get down. However you get down, you represent the hood in the proper way, and it's good to see him transition to that. Not just saying that's because the things shut down, but if you're from Baltimore, represent the streets of Baltimore. You got young folks looking after you. Watch how they learn from your early mistakes, how you clean it up, and you go in here and you leave a mark through the history of boxing. He's still got ways to climb up, and it also adds on to the guard has really shifted over to these young dudes. These young dudes are adding so much excitement to this game. It's time to get them up in there against each other. It is that time, and fans are willing to turn out. People are going to be, biting at the dang bit to get tickets to a Tank Davis event. You want to show up to a Tank Davis event after seeing something like that. No more hesitating on waiting to buy a ticket. If he's going in here and delivering like this for you, hey, this dude is a top draw within the sport. What's up, OG Kurt?
Yeah, we want to welcome Curtis Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar, out here, special guest on the post-fight show. What's going on, Kurt? How you doing, man? You're on mute if you're there.
Oh, what's up, Reg? What's up, Stormy B? What's up, Chad? This has been a great, not much, man. I'm just enjoying the fights, man. I'm in boxing euphoria right now. Naoya looked real good, man. He's a very impressive fighter. Usyk didn't look that good. But Tank Davis, man, what power this man has, man. I told people punchers are born, not made. Tank is a natural puncher, and Leo tried to fight, man, but I said Tank is breaking him down to the body. It's a matter of time. When you have a short fighter that throws the uppercut like he does, it's very dangerous because the punches is coming underneath. And 9 times out of 10, the uppercut thrown at the right time from a short fighter, you're not going to see. And, man, he laid Leo out, man, like a Persian rug, man. I'll pick Tank in 8 or 9, but, what a knockout, man. It's been a great day of boxing. Regis Prograis is back from the Josh Taylor defeat. It's been a great day of boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you were out there in the chat, Kurt, when I was talking about having seen Tank actually deliver at a time when it was premium that he do so. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that because of what we were talking about going into this fight. And I had stated, like, we need to see him, deliver and be challenged and things like that before just awarding. Because it's always nice to look at a guy with potential, but when you actually see them come through and when they're able to deliver the goods on the big stage, with the lights on, with all the marbles and chips at stake, what are your thoughts with that and how Tank was able to make adjustments and everything? He put it together in this fight.
Everything to the weight loss, to him going, Leo fighting back. He had a live body in front of him. We seen the emergence of a Gervonta Tank Davis tonight, October 31st, 2020. After this victory, I think it's going to make him even a better fighter. All he has to do is stay focused. I think this fight has changed him. I think Floyd got in his ear. He looked good, man. He looked good. Tank is a fighter. He's been fighting ever since he was a little boy. And it just came together tonight. He laid Leo out. This is a 4-time world champion that he laid out. Cold. And I think the lightweight division is sizzling right now. You have Teofimo, who came off a big victory. You have Devin Haney Saturday. Ryan Garcia December 5th. And now you have Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a major player in the game now. We look at him differently now because what he did to Santa Cruz. He didn't win a majority decision. He knocked Santa Cruz out cold. An established multi-weight division champion dispatched him. And that's what we wanted to see. And we saw it. And we know Tank power's real. He's a natural puncher. He's very explosive. So whoever gets in the ring with Tank is going to have a hard time because, it's not like he's one-dimensional because he has fast twitch muscles. He can box, but I like Tank because he sets up his power. He was patient. Leo fought well, but not well enough, and Tank nailed him with that uppercut, man, and it was good night, sweet prince. Very impressive win by Tank Davis. He sent the statement to the world of boxing and the lightweight division.
And he did it in a fight, Kurt. He did it in a fight where there was opposition. Leo was challenging him. He was actually, there were moments in the fight where Leo was actually taking the fight to Tank and trying to win the fight. And see, that makes all the difference in the world, as opposed to a guy that gets in there and is just happy to be asked to the dance. This guy wanted to play his own song, and Tank had to answer that. And he did it. And he did it in a very impressive fashion where you have to acknowledge that. He didn't wait to see what was going to happen. He made an adjustment. And that whole thing about walking him down with the high guard, that was some veteran stuff. That comes from Floyd Mayweather, you see. But it was something that nobody expected also. And when he did it and he got the knockout as a result of making changes on the fly, adjustments, again, people are going to have to look at him multifaceted now with greater dimension. He is not just a punching guy with fast hands, and that has to be on the table first and foremost. He's dangerous.
And you know what? He's not the best. We haven't seen the best of Tank. I kept telling people, this is not the best of Tank. He keep busy and stays in the gym. You're going to see even a better Tank Davis. But he just sent the message to the lightweight and junior lightweight division, man. Like you said, he's going to be dangerous, man. Every second of every round. He's when you have a puncher who's explosive, it's different. Tank with the fast twitch muscles, and he just knew he was going to get Leo out of there. And Leo was fighting back. Leo, he tried, but Tank is just too strong. Very strong.
Yeah. I don't know if you were available, Kurt. You may have been watching the show straight out, but were you able to hear Reggie's call on the fight? Kurt?
Oh, I'm steady talking. No, I didn't hear Reggie call the fight. I had my pad going in the TV. I was looking at everything, man. I was in boxing euphoria tonight.
No, the reason I'm asking is because I said that Reggie is now up there with Howard Cosell and Roy Jones when he called it, because his live recount of the action when he said, "Leo is dead. He's dead. He's dead." It was classic. You had to be in the moment to see it, but please go back and check it out on the replay because it's great, man. I told Reggie we gotta take that clip and as audio and save it so we can just play that from time to time because it was right up there with Roy Jones when he's not getting up, Jim. You know that thing. But it was classic stuff. That's what we were laughing about earlier on. I'm gonna
go back. I'm gonna go back and listen to it. But what's up with the black fighters wearing Mexican colors and beating Mexican fighters, man?
Oh no!
I saw with Mayweather, De La Hoya. Then I saw it with Spence and Garcia. Now I'm watching it with Davis and Santa Cruz.
And I think Sugar Shane pulled that once or twice too. But yeah. But Reggie, you got something else on this or anything we've spoken on just now?
Yeah. That thing with the fighters wearing this Mexican attire, they definitely have to stop that. And I've seen several people in the chat also speak on that. So this is black fans speaking out to black fighters. Cut the crap out. Don't no other race of fighters do that towards us to pay homage to black folks. It does nothing for them. It does nothing for the black fighters. I mean,
no, hold on, Reg. They doing it to be sarcastic.
Yeah, I mean, even out of sarcasm, I'm like, I don't think they have to do it. At least add some level of pride for blackness. Uphold that, or just. I think the sarcasm is kind of trash that black fighters have to go in there and do it. I mean, it does nothing. Like represent. Just like they go in there, they represent their culture, they represent their pride. And I think the black fighters have to start presenting that and pushing that out. Make people put respect on what blackness is. Make people put respect on the abilities and greatness of black fighters. And also speaking on like the greatness and abilities of black fighters is congratulations and salute to Floyd Mayweather for finally being able to get this kid reined in, getting this kid to come to realization and focusing on the craft. Because with Tank like this, man, it's going to be some great things coming up out of this game. And even amongst these other high level, highly skilled young fighters that are out there, the Devin Haney's, this even puts the Devin Haney's on notice. The Devin Haney's, the Ryan Garcia's, the Teofimo Lopez, and fans are going to push for that. Fans are really going to push for that. And I think when Tank goes back up, the fans must push for Teofimo versus Tank Davis. They can't let Teofimo run up out of there without defending those titles. Him and Tank have to get it on and put on a very, very exciting pay-per-view event. Really having to put on a very exciting pay-per-view event. And salute to Floyd, man. And many people knock Floyd for being too much in the picture, but I think Floyd has earned the right to be in the picture. I like that Floyd didn't step inside of his interview. Seen Floyd giving a lot of instructions, but that's just passion from there. Being he pulled in, he should be allowed to do a little bit of that, but also not. He allowed that corner to work, but he was a little bit, over involved. But he does a lot of that at these fights that he pulls on out here. When you're passionate about a fighter, you're not just a promoter of, but somebody more of a mentor. You're looking to see that this fighter pans out, and he's starting to do it. Just even from months ago, just listen to how Tank Davis' ability to speak and answer and respond to questions shows where his mind is. And more impressive than just that knockout, how excited he got about the knockout, is his recall of the fight. And even him speaking about where they wanted him to grade himself. Well, I would not grade myself until I watch what happened. Not to give himself an A or gloat over the knockout. Matter of fact, he really didn't even gloat over the knockout. And I like that shit. I like the fact that Tank walked over there to check on Leo, not having to dig in a shovel like he throwing him in the dirt. So really showing a high level of maturity, but not letting that maturity soften him up. He's still got that killer instinct. And those are aspects I look at the things with and that I love, is that you can be an intellectual killer where you can throw people off where they think you soft and blah, blah, blah. The minute they step to you is the minute you flatline them. And I like everything I'm seeing with Tank Davis, because also along with this, when the sport is over, Tank Davis has to have the sense of mind to know how to live life without boxing being around anymore, securing things. He got a young child to raise. And I'm liking everything that I'm seeing from Tank, but more impressive than the knockout was the way he responded in that post fight, the way he recalled events, the way in which he saw how the fight played out, what he was picturing, his ability to adjust on the fly. Oh my God, that one was sweet to me right there. But go ahead, I'll pass it on.
Well, I wanted to say something too about, Floyd being a mentor to Tank Davis and everything. Tank has something Floyd only could ever dream of, and that's that equalizer, man. He can actually get rid of somebody at any point in a fight. And that right there, even more than someone like with a personality, because Floyd created personality for what he did under his own brand, and that's what he walked to. But Tank has that knockout punch, and people love knockouts. That alone will sell tickets for him. That alone will make people come to see what's next, and that alone will endear him to network TV and pay-per-view audiences, because that's hot, that sells. So that is something that they really hold in the palm of their hand. He, more than any of those other guys at his weight and of that age group and peer group, does that better than anybody else. So it's like that puts him out front, And I tell you, you could see it, as Reggie said, even when the show was over, people were still there, still enamored with how they saw the fight end. It came to a dramatic end with this guy turning the lights out. And, people pay to see that. Remember, we were watching Deontay Wilder doing that at the heavyweight division, and people talk about him and all of that stuff. But, man, they show up to see him knock people out. It's like they hating all the way, but they, give me a ticket for that Wilder event. It's like they coming to watch him, and that sells. It does. And when you have a protege like that, that's what people want to see. That's what they'll pay for. And Floyd, he's in a great position to milk that for what it's worth. I just hope he doesn't overstate and overimpose himself, because it's this young man's show. Let him, mentor him, keep him on the right path or whatever, but let it be him. Don't let it be you and him. Let it be him. It's his time. So that's what I wanted to say. Kurt, did you have something on it?
No, I was just going to say the emergence of Tank Davis. I'm glad Leo Santa Cruz is all right, because he's a really nice guy, man. He really is, But this is Tank Knight, man. He made the adjustments, and you see what we was talking about when you come in and wait. You see the performance that you give, and it's not a coincidence that this was the best performance so far. He said it wasn't Tank. I saw the press conference, but post conference. But this is the best performance because of who he's knocked out. You never see Leo hurt before, and that's because Tank, his weight, the way he lost weight and the way he kept it off, allowed him to perform, at a very high level. And this was the payoff. So, now Leo fan says Teofimo was sleep Tank. Boy, you talk about the hate.
And something else, Kurt? What you just said about that conditioning. When you're in condition, not only can you take it and go the distance and, be in shape or whatever in that physical sense, your mind can be sharper as well when you're in condition, because that's confidence. You know that you can do it. You know that you could go through it, and you're prepared. Preparedness is a son of a gun, because think of how many people in life are prepared for life on a daily basis, as opposed to people who just stumble their way into another day. You know what I mean? And it separates people. It separates them. in boxing, it separates contenders from champions and champions from greatness, you know, all of that. So being in shape, being on point, having given up something, having sacrificed something. Now you see the spoils of your efforts. You have reaped the divine sweetness that comes from those sacrifices. And there's a lesson to be learned in that. Hopefully this young man can take that to heart and become even more serious. Because like I said, when you're like that and you're consistent with that, not only do you build a brand, but you build acknowledgement and respect. It all comes together.
Still there?
Yeah. That was the end of my statement. I guess nobody else had nothing else to say on it. But yeah, that was what I had to offer on that. We could take it back to the fight before that. We saw Regis Prograis come out there, and he, you know, again, he was in another one of those fights where this gentleman, Heraldez, was in there with him, but he was only brought in to be an opponent. Prograis has been a year off since the loss to Josh Taylor, looking to come back. That's interesting because this was a Mayweather promotion, right? So is he signed with Mayweather? I guess he is, right? That he showed up on the card tonight, right? Anybody know?
I'm not sure because I know Floyd does a lot of. Well, I know Mayweather promotes a lot of PBC fights, so he probably just brought him on there. But I don't think he signed to PBC. I mean, to Mayweather's promotions. I think he just signed.
So this PBC. Was more of a case of being PBC representing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Prograis, that guy didn't belong in there with him, and he kind of took him out very quickly. I think it was the 3rd round KO, and just something to shake off the rust for him. But we can talk about the little Mexican sensation that was on before that in the first bout. Reggie, I don't know if you saw it, but that kid Cruz, the Mexican kid, they call him like the mini Mike Tyson because he came in there with that type of in-your-face style. He's a little stocky guy, similar to like Tank, you know, at the same division, believe it or not. And he was being, you know, the kind of guy that was aggressive. And he got a 1st round KO, man. He jumped on that guy and he battered him. The guy he fought was 34 years old and he's like 23, you know. I think Lawrence Williams was out there in the chat. He mentioned him as well. And that's somebody that's down the line, maybe looking to be featured on undercards because he's exciting. He comes in, he really bangs to the body like nobody's business, and then he goes up top and catches guys with looping shots and uppercuts. So it's kind of like a little Mexican version of Tank, I guess. Something, but interesting. But the undercard here tonight was not really. It wasn't designed to outshine the main event. Let's just put it like that, because the main event was what people were tuning into, and they did deliver. For only 6 rounds, it was exciting, and it brought the house down, so to speak. So if you guys don't have anything else, I would like Reggie to tell us about this monster Inoue. And Kurt, you can possibly, since you had both shows going, because I didn't get a chance because I was just listening to Reggie's call of the Tank and Santa Cruz match, and I was watching it on my own screen, so I wasn't watching Inoue.
Yeah, I caught the first 4 rounds, and Inoue, hey, the kid can scrap. That kid is a fighter, and he's another guy who who to me converts to style. Like he starts out as a boxer. He's not one of these guys that is bent up on his power. He gets in there and box. He jabs beautifully. He finds the moments in which to knock people out. But that's the thing that spoiled the fight, is that this brings me into my rant, which I was cussing about when I first started, is these idiotic promotions interfering with one another's events to who knows, to sabotage things that they would schedule this fight at the same time. That's why, because I was calling this fight, I immediately had to shut down my Monster Inoue card to get over, because these events were aligned. They were almost synced in at the same time fighting one another. So I caught the first few rounds before the Tank Davis fight started, which I think was at like the 5th round or so. But Monster Inoue was boxing beautifully against the guy who came in her fight with him, and he just a smooth breakdown of this opponent he faced, tagging the guy with beautiful jabs, coming straight down the line on him, hitting him down to the body. His movement was great, not wasted movement, but really effective movement. Everything about Inoue is effective. He's trained properly from what I see. His mind is of a high level of what I see by the way he goes in here and fights. His opponent came in there showing no respect, not looking to be the guy featured in the highlight reel setup of being knocked out. He came in here to fight anyway, but by like round 3 or 4, began to see a change in his confidence as he started to realize, damn, this Inoue cat really is what they have presented him to be. He is the real deal. And Inoue just slowly started to break the guy and finish him off. But by time, I'm more focused on the Tank fight because they're going on at the same time. It was missing quite a bit of it until I look over and see he stopped the guy. But that's all I had on that.
How about you, Kurt?
Yeah, I'm going to close it out by saying Inoue, he was impressive tonight. We all know he could punch. He's fast. He dips in and out. He boxed. He set up his power shots. That was the most impressive thing about Inoue tonight. Yeah, that last coup de grace knockout, ooh, what a right hand, man. It was short and beautiful, but he has one of the best uppercuts, him and Jamar Charlo in boxing. A beautiful uppercuts, along with Tank Davis, those three. But I want to see him in with a little better fighters. Maloney was not a bad fighter, but he's straight up and down, nothing great about him. So, the better opponents, the more I believe. I know the guy can fight. I still don't think he's number 3 pound for pound because that's ESPN new favorite son. They give him so much praise, and Bradley was, every time he threw a punch, Bradley would go, wow. And I was like, here we go. They found somebody else. So even if Terence Crawford win and don't knock out Kell Brook, they might replace him at number 2 or number 3. Naoya is their favorite, the sexy pick right now. So I'm just forewarning you guys. But, anyway, Inoue, he looked good. He got the knockout. I enjoyed the fight, man. And he impressed me tonight. I want to see him in better competition. I can assess him even better in future fights. I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to jump on here a little bit, man.
Hey, Kurt,
yes.
Your thoughts on Usyk?
Oh, I ain't like how I'm never big on Usyk, man. Even when he knocked out Bellew and he was going through the cruiserweight, they hype these guys up, man. Usyk is not a bum. He's far from that. And I'm gonna be very objective. He's okay. He's an okay fighter, but all this, he's that and he's this and he's a unbelievable technical fighter. No, he's not. Chisora looked terrible, man. His balance was awful. He was taking amateurish swings. He looked like he was fighting at an uncle's barbecue, man, a cookout or something. That's how he was fighting. The black cookouts that make you wear boxing gloves when you find them in a bed, and the two uncles started scrapping. That's how he looked. Chisora, I don't think he was in the best of shape. And Usyk couldn't get him out of there. But that's boxing. But anyway, I want to see him with better competition. Heavyweight division is not like it's in the 70s or the 80s or 90s or whatever. But he was okay, man. They hype him, and the commentators was biased and Usyk this and Usyk that. I don't see what they see. I really don't. He's an okay fighter. He's not bad, but he's not great. He's far from that. This is the man they said that will beat Evander Holyfield, which is a laugh. He's nowhere near, but,
Man, don't even get me started.
Yeah, that's Stormy's favorite fight. I'm like, Chisora made things uncomfortable for the first 3 rounds, but I knew he would gas out. Wild swings, man, off balance, sloppy. That was Chisora. And then when Chisora got tired, Usyk got comfortable and he coasted to victory. But that's my assessment on Usyk. I don't see what people see in Alexander Usyk, so. But I'm going to sign off, Reg and Stormybman in the chat. I'm an old man. I got to get my sleep so I can wake up and watch my Kung Fu movies in the morning on LA.
I'm old too, man. And we ain't through talking about this boxing yet. So, and you think I don't want to see my Kung Fu movies?
I got to get some sleep. I'm worn out. I enjoyed the fights tonight, man. All the cards, man. Really great day of boxing and night. So you guys talk it up, man, and we'll talk tomorrow. And I'm gonna go listen to the call that you call the fight, Reg. I'll do that in the morning, but I'm gonna get some sleep, man, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, man. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
Yeah, Reggie, back to that Usyk and Chisora. I knew after Chisora's efforts in the first round, I was like, he's not going to win this fight. And that's, again, my thing was I was concerned going in about him being a company man and looking to make Usyk look good, right? But he actually did the opposite. He went in there trying to win, but he was so crude, I guess is the word, unskilled, caveman-like with his style, and he was hurting Usyk with everything he was hitting him with. But he was so wild with it that it was not something that could go for a distance fight. And by round 3, he was spent. And I was like, did this guy even do any road work? I don't think he did, because they showed him in the gym, right? Lifting weights and stuff. And where these guys come from with the weightlifting and boxing, Reggie? I don't know, man, because the old fighters, weights were really not anything they even touched. That's why you didn't see a lot of the muscular dudes in boxing if you go back 25 to 30 years ago. If the guys were in shape, they were in shape from being, conditioned and everything, but not lifting weights because they always felt like weights would tighten you up and everything. So you needed to stay more limber and shoot those punches with more, snap, accuracy, and speed. But now, everybody wants to lift, but nobody hardly wants to get on that road and do that road work. And it shows up in fights. Believe me. When you've gone 5 or 6 rounds and haven't put the road work in, no, man, it's going to show. It's going to show. And boy, Chisora needed, by round 5, he needed an extra set of lungs. Let's just say it like that. Because the brother was, he was gasping. Okay, he looked like a fish that had been pulled out of the water and laid on the shore. And you know how they do. It's like that was just so wrong. But hey, what are your thoughts on that, Reggie? And Chisora's lack of conditioning, because Usyk was there to be had.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm putting $50 bet against somebody on that fight, because I'm like, Chisora about to go in here and knock this dude the hell out. And the first round, he was tearing Usyk up. Usyk did not like none of the punches he was being hit with. He was feeling what some of this heavyweight power is going to feel like at this division. He was getting hit to the body, complaining of low blows, looking over to the ref for certain things. At one point, he got hit to the side of the neck. He started having to stretch his neck out. Chisora was catching him, hurt him a few times early in this fight. Then because in the first round, I was like, dang, he's going to have to pace himself because he's chasing way too much after this guy. Rather than cutting off the ring, he's just chasing after Usyk, who's on his bike, didn't like what he was getting hit with, trying to escape up out of there. Second round, Chisora going back after him, teeing off with some of these shots, throwing these, like Kurt was saying, amateurish, big time hooks, just winging them, telegraphing these shots, just trying to knock this guy's head off. And I'm like, that's just going to tax him, along with him chasing after this guy. In the second round, I noticed his mouth opening up and him breathing in deep. I said, oh my God, here go my money gone, man. And he ended up being able to pull off 2 more of the rounds because I had him winning, I think the first 4 rounds or so. I had Chisora winning because Usyk's moving around, still getting teed off on. Chisora still chasing after him while he's tired. He barely can stand up. Matter of fact, his cardio was so damn bad that after the dang fight was over for about 20 minutes, he's still trying to catch his damn breath. I said, God dang, what you do?
Hey, Reggie, he needed a lift to get out of the ring instead of walk down those little stairs for the ring. He wanted a lift, a platform lift to come and get him so he could stand on it and he go lower down to the floor, ground. That dude, it took him like 3 minutes to get out the ring.
Hey, I was waiting for him to fall so I can laugh about it. Like, it cost me my money. Give me a laugh or something. Like, fall out the rings, man. This dude, And this is a problem why Usyk will have a little bit of success at the division is because we're in the current era of heavyweights who don't take the sport serious and are not that good. That a guy like Usyk will have some success based on that. Getting here with guys who don't take the sport serious, don't keep themselves within checking their weight to be able to go the long haul. Had Chisora been in greater condition, it would have been very brutal inside that ring for Usyk, as the first 2 rounds was. And even when Usyk rated his performance, he gave himself a 3 out of 10, as he know he looked bad in this fight and struggling with a guy who was gone after 2 rounds and then to go 10 more extra rounds with a gas fighter and couldn't get him out of there. Now, he fought well. His movement is good. His ability to move around that ring, tap in with shots, but it also shows that he has no power in there. He had Chisora hurt at one moment. He caught Chisora with some very clean shots on top of Chisora being a little underpowered, a little bit weight, not even a little gas, but fully gassed, the tank on empty, and catching him with those shots, almost dropping Chisora, but Chisora still being able to stay on his feet and never getting hurt. Not once after that. It just shows that Usyk is really going to have to second guess who he fights at this division. Anthony Joshua would demolish Usyk, will demolish him, and that will be where this journey ends. And it's unfortunate that they're trying to pull this crap with trying to compare him to Evander Holyfield. That comparison ain't nowhere even close, and they need to cut that crap out.
Man, don't even say it no more, man. I'm disgusted just hearing it on second time, tonight. So don't even mention that crap, man. That dude, let me tell you something about Anthony Joshua and Usyk. Anthony Joshua could throw a 1-2, all right? Because Usyk is a southpaw, and the best punch to hit him with is a straight right hand down the pike. And it was amazing that Chisora never tried that. He was throwing these winging shots that he looked like a bear trying to swat a honey bee nest out of a tree. He was winding up from Mississippi with these shots, and he happened to clip Usyk in that first round, and you saw Usyk's eyes. He already got those crazy psychotic eyes, right? But those eyes got like 10 times bigger in their sockets because he was like, oh shit. He didn't realize. I'm like, dude, this is a heavyweight division, fool. This ain't cruiserweight or fat cruiserweights. This is the real deal. And anything these guys hit you with can have you on Queer Street, if not unconscious. Which is amazing that when I saw by the third round that Chisora wasn't going to be, I thought he was going to pass out, really, from the efforts and like quit on his stool or something because he was too tired. But he did make it to the final bell, barely. But the thing was, in the fight like they were having, all Usyk did well was move. He gave lateral movement, left, right. He wouldn't let Chisora, and Chisora was trying to chase him. But you chase with the jab. And all he had to do, instead of grabbing him and holding him and hitting him with the other hand, was launch combinations to the body. Pop, 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 and then he gonna get out of there, and you set it up again by chasing him with the jab, and when you cut that ring off on him, you go to the body again. Pop, 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 because he didn't have enough power to hurt Chisora, because he hit Chisora clean a couple of times and kind of like stunned him a little bit, but he was never in danger of knocking him out. Only thing that was in danger of taking Chisora out was his conditioning. So this is why I'm saying, if he had rested with the jab, putting that jab on the guy, jabbing him in the chest, jabbing him on that right shoulder, working around the sides and up the middle with body shots, he could have made the end of that fight with much more conditioning, even though he didn't get in the best of shape for the fight. We could see he didn't do that. But where is the coaching? Where is the training? Because that's all they had to tell him to do. Jab, jab, jab. Because Usyk, once he felt his strength, he wanted to get the hell out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if he told his cornerman in Russian, hey, y'all lied to me. You know what I mean? About this heavyweight division, because the strength deficit was tremendous. He didn't have nothing for Chisora. And we've seen Chisora beaten by real heavyweights, right? So the fact that he couldn't do anything to Chisora tells us what he doesn't have. So it's like he could have won the fight with a jab alone. David Haye and those guys over there in the UK, I'm sorry if there's anybody in the UK in the chat or whatever, but I'm going to say this, and some people might be offended. The teaching is not at the elite level. It ain't. Because Chisora should have won that fight tonight. It was in the pickings for him. He should have won that fight tonight. That was his opportunity. And the fact that he was in shit shape, okay, let me say it one more time. He was in shit shape and he wasn't up to the task to win the fight. That's his fault. And because he wasn't coached through his problems, meaning that he was flat with his conditioning and they didn't know what to tell him to do. You get your wind back by doing things like boxing, not chasing around trying to load up with every punch and everything, which who have you hit with shots like that in your career? Nobody. So what are you doing? Why are you going to wait to this fight to fight like that? If you would have thrown shots like that at Dillian White, you would have knocked him out because Dillian White ain't mobile like that. But this guy's mobile and he's lighter and he's a smaller man and he was able to get the hell away from you. So why were you doing it tonight and you wasn't doing it against the guy that, you know, you could have done that against? You see what I'm talking about ring IQ? These guys, man, they blow me with this crap, man. But it's like all he had to do was shoot the jabs to Usyk's chest. That alone, your heart is in your chest. If I keep hitting you in your chest over and over, 5 to 10 times a round, by 6 rounds, your legs will be like jelly. Because your heart is in there. You're disrupting blood flow. You're disrupting the rhythm. You're disrupting your breathing and everything. A jab to the chest. A punch to the chest can demoralize a person. Seriously. It'll make them think twice. But where's the teaching? This is what I'm talking about. when we discuss these finer points and stuff like that. Chisora, you talk a good game, but your boxing game is lame. Period. Point blank. Whoever working with you and working with those other guys over there, you bunch of cavemen over there with that old I'll hit you, you hit me mentality. There was nothing classic about what he was doing, and he was in there against a guy who was an undisputed champion at a lower weight and a pretty damn good Olympian boxer, right? So it's like he had some boxing ability. That's why he was able to survive. He should not have even opened the fight up like that, Reggie. He should have opened the fight up just trying to jab with the guy, act like he gonna try to box with him. And then come round 5 or 6, start going after him. Because you have to have a game plan. There was no game plan to what he was doing. And how and why did he think coming out like that he was going to be successful? And he was already blown by round 3. He was finished. And if Usyk had anything, Usyk should have finished him. You see, that's the point. He should have. Listen, even you during your call said, man, Usyk is letting this guy get a second win. Remember, Reggie, late in the fight?
Yup.
So it's like Usyk couldn't do enough to him to get him out of there or to stop the challenge. And next thing you know, the guy, he realized, well, at least I'm not going to pass out. I'm still dog shit tired, but I ain't going to pass out. But he didn't have enough to step on the gas to turn it up to even make the fight more. And I said in my pre-fight breakdown, I called this fight a draw in my pre-fight breakdown. It was damn near that, bro. Damn near. But why? Because of Chisora and his ill preparation and his shitty corner. That's what that was. Period.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. and I mean, it's gonna be bad up here. I mean, even with this poor performance from Chisora, the only thing that even gave Usyk an opportunity to stay in this fight was the lack of preparation from Chisora. Chisora's he needs to hang it up, and all the tough talk and all that, he can throw it out the window. Though that is all up. And then the other thing that bothered me in this fight is that Chisora, like you were saying, if Chisora would have worked off the jab and then walked to him and pressure him, it would have worked. Because early on, Chisora hit this guy with some jabs that one jab ended up hurting Usyk at one point in this fight. That's when he started to move up out of there, start to try to grab on and clinch. And at this point, when those jabs started, and this was a jab that Chisora hit him with when he was tired. A more energized early round Chisora working off that jab and then start to turn on, like you said, would have got Usyk the heck up out of here. But he went in there, going in to hunt after this guy, throwing away, bombing away, which was he had some results from that. But the fact that Usyk got up out of there, started moving around on this dude, and this dude chasing up after him, and it just shows that low level IQ that he chased after him rather than cutting things off. Not having to follow after him, should have called him out, lured him back in there to fight. Like, I'm not chasing after you. You're going to stand here like a man and fight me. But here this dude just stalking after a damn running mill. And this running mill knows that if I can run around long enough, the dude thinks he's a predator chasing after me, is going to win himself. And that's exactly what he did. But still, some of those jabs got through there on Usyk. And they end up having to where Usyk began to want to hold or wanting to run up out of there. And also I was surprised to see Chisora able to jab down to the body, pull out and not get hit. That's what he should have been doing, like you said, but his mind ain't there. His mind wasn't there. But still with this one, Usyk ain't going far in this game at the elite levels. And he's going to rethink taking on Anthony Joshua. I don't think he wants that fight. He's going to take on another fight to say he got 3 wins at the heavyweight division. But after this, I guarantee there's going to be some pain that's going to set in after this fight is over with. That pain's going to set in. His body's going to be hurting. He's going to rethink about whether or not he wants to fight back at cruiserweight or not. But that's all I got on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you because there's not a lot left in the division that would not be a challenge or, a danger for him. I mean, there is a lot left. I actually misspoke there. There's so much because remember, you take a guy like him and you look at a guy like Hunter, right? Now, he fought Hunter, right, at cruiserweight. Didn't he, Reggie?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, remember the fight that Hunter gave Povetkin? He gave him a hell of a fight. But Hunter is a small heavyweight, but he was probably just good enough to compete at heavyweight like a Jesse Ferguson or something like that, but not stronger like a Ray Mercer. So it's like, Usyk is none of that. He was a big guy at the weight, 6'3", and he has a wide frame for a cruiserweight, but too big to be a light heavyweight and too small to be a real heavyweight. Because you could see him in there with Chisora, who's not a real big guy. Chisora is like 6'2" and 250 pounds. But at heavyweight, that's a sluggish guy. If you're 6'2" at heavyweight, your weight should be around 220, 218, something like that. That's where you'll be lean and mean. But 250 like him, that's not a lot of stock. But you could see his strength and you could see his imposing physicality against Usyk. Dude, there are people out there that's going to clean Usyk's clock, man. He's not going to survive very well at that weight class. And like you said, he should take another fight or somebody of real low stature or something and get on up out of there. Because if he don't, somebody going to have their way with him. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you this, Reggie. If he dare take a fight with a guy thinking it's going to be, smooth, easy work, like a Andy Ruiz Jr., he will get pieced up.
Hey, on the real, that would be a great fight right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy Ruiz will beat Usyk out the frame, will tear him out the frame.
Yep.
And Andy Ruiz is a high IQ guy.
Yep.
He ain't got to do all that over running after this dude. And Luis Ortiz, he better never even think to step in there against a Luis Ortiz. All these other dudes is going to destroy him. Dominic Brazil will destroy this dude. Usyk, Reign, and whatever they got planned for him, they need to go ahead and end it now. It's not going to happen. He's not going to live up to it. It's over with. And even in this win that he got, it just exposed a lot. It's a done data.
Absolutely, man. So hey, that it is what it is, as we say all the time. But that's definitely something that you could see taking place, where these guys will be chomping at the bit to get a hold of Usyk, But hey, man, go ahead and give us your final thoughts and everything, Reggie. I know it's getting a little late, and we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. But it was a great weekend of boxing, starting on Friday night, where we had the Jaime Munguia card on Dazn. That was very interesting, and we did cover that on the Friday night chop session. So no need to do a redo of that. But that kicked off this stellar weekend of boxing, man. What a great weekend. I'm so happy. I want to go back and watch the fight cards for Inoue, because I didn't see that. I'm gonna check that out on a replay. But yeah, give us your final thoughts, bro.
Man, what a dang weekend hey, it was so perfect. I forgot today Halloween. I didn't hear not one trick-or-treat outside. Man, what a weekend to sit back and just enjoy some dang boxing, man. And this Tank Davis, oh my man. Hey, Tank Davis, he a star. That's all I got, man.
Yes, sir. You can hear Leonard Ellaby's mouth just running off right now, man. I tried to tell y'all, Tank Davis is a star. Yeah, and he was a star tonight, man. He shined brightly out there, and he brought sparkles and sawdust from Santa Cruz's chin, man. I'm glad that Santa Cruz is alive, because Reggie wrongfully reported earlier tonight, y'all, that he was dead. So he's still alive, y'all. If you caught Reggie's call on it, we've checked him out. And Santa Cruz is alive, okay? So you ain't gonna wake up in the papers tomorrow and see Santa Cruz is dead because Reggie said so. But I'm serious about getting that clip, Reggie, and we gotta save it where you said that, man. That was excellent, man. That was excellent. He dead! He dead!
Yeah, I already put up a post-fight reaction to it.
That was classic stuff, man. I was like, woo. That was great stuff, man. But yeah, I guess this is all we got for you guys tonight, man. Thanks for joining us for the post-fight show. And we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you can go back and watch those fights on replay, do it. You know, enjoy yourself even more. And we'll catch you guys on the next one, man. This is Stormy B, man. And for my brother Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, we're going to get on up out of here and say peace to you guys. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there.